Topic 1, Chapter 1, Introduction. The construction industry. The construction industry is one of the largest industries in the United States, historically accounting for about 10% of the nation's gross national product and employing some 10 million workers. So, although we are talking about the United States in this topic, but the importance of construction industry is almost equally valid for all the other countries, including Kazakhstan as well. Construction industry, it includes design, new and renovation construction, and manufacture and supply of building materials and equipment. Construction is an exciting, dynamic process which often provides high income for workers and contractors. It is an appealing career opportunity. Although it is good to say that it is a good career opportunity to work in the construction industry, however, there are many things which affect the construction industry, which affect the work in the construction industry. So therefore, the annual income for the workers who in the construction industry can also decrease. In addition, the construction contracting is a very competitive business with a high rate of bankruptcy. It is widely recognized that construction as a discipline is a combination of art and science. While understanding the technical aspect of construction is extremely important, it is also essential that construction professionals have knowledge of the business and management aspect of the profession. Construction has traditionally been a very conservative industry. The increasing rate of technological development and growing international competition in the industry are serving to accelerate the development of new construction methods, equipment, materials, and management techniques. As a result, you can see that in future there will be an increasing need of innovative and professionally competent construction professionals. So now let's talk about the construction contractors. Companies and individuals engaged in the business of construction are commonly referred to as construction contractors because they operate under a contract arrangement with the owner. So construction contractors may be classified as general contractors or specialty contractors. So the general contractors engage in a wide range of construction activities and execute most major construction projects. So when they enter into a contract with an owner to provide complete construction services, they are called prime contractors. So the specialty contractors limit their activities to one or more construction specialties such as electrical work, plumbing, heating and ventilating, or earth moving. Specialty contractors are often employed by a prime contractor to accomplish some specific phase of a construction project. Since these specialty contractors are operating under subcontracts between themselves and the prime contractor, the specialty contractors are referred to as subcontractors. So thus the terms subcontractor and prime contractor are defined by the contract arrangement involved, not by the work classification of the contractors themselves. So it means that thus a specialty contractor employed by an owner to carry out a particular project might employ a general contractor to execute some phase of the project. In this situation, the specialty contractor becomes the prime contractor for the project, and the general contractor becomes the subcontractor. So the nature of the construction industry is such that there are large number of small contractors in the industry. So many of the contractors in the industry are small in the size. Next we talk about the construction industry divisions. So the major divisions of the construction industry consist of building construction, also called vertical construction, and heavy construction, which is also called as the horizontal construction. So in this figure there is a distribution of United States new construction volume. So major portion is taken by the private buildings, then the public non-building, and then the public building, and then the private non-building. So in this pie chart you can see that there are two types of construction: building and non-building. And under the building we have the private building and the public building, and under the non-building we also have the private and public non-building. So but here you can see that the total volume of the building construction in the United States is much higher. So for example 71 under the public, and if you add the 71 for the private, and if you add the 10% for the public building, then it becomes 81% for the building, and only remaining 19% is for the non-building sector. So what are these building and the non-building sectors? So the building construction, as the name suggests, that it involves the construction of buildings. This category may be subdivided into public and private, as it was shown in the previous pie chart. And there can be further subdivisions such as the residential and the non-residential buildings. In the non-building sector, we have the heavy construction and the other specialty divisions. So in the heavy construction, it includes highways, airports, railroads, bridges, canals, harbors, dams, and other major public works. Whereas the other specialty divisions include the industrial construction, process plant construction, marine construction, and utility construction. So this is one photo which you can see that this is how the modern building construction project look like, and then you can see many examples of this in the city of Nur Sultan as well. And on the other hand, the heavy construction, the nature is quite different from the building construction. So as you can see that there are not many high rise constructions, but mostly the construction is taking place in horizontal way, such as in this case, which is a Kennedy Space Center launch complex. So let's talk about the construction process, and in that we will first talk about the project development and contract procedures. The major steps in the construction contracting procedure include bid solicitation, bid preparation, bid submission, contract award, and contract administration. However, before the bidding process can take place, the owner must determine the requirements for the project and have the necessary plans, specifications, and other documents prepared. So these activities make up the project development phase of construction. So for major projects, steps in the project development process include the following: recognizing the need for the project, determining the technical and financial feasibility of the project, preparing detailed plans, specifications, and cost estimate for the project, obtaining approval from the regulatory agencies. So this involves ascertaining competitive compliance with zoning regulations, building codes, and environmental and other regulations. On the other hand, for small projects, many of these steps may be accomplished on a very informal basis. However, for large or complex projects, this process may require years to complete. Now let's see that after the development process, then there is the construction, So how this construction is accomplished? So the construction is accomplished based on the several principal methods. Okay, so these methods are related to the situations when construction implying an owner construction force, then owner management of construction, construction by a general contractor, construction using a design build which is called turnkey contract, and construction utilizing a construction management contract. So here we have some of those examples of these different methods. So this is the one which is the construction implying the owner construction forces. So in many large industrial organizations as well as a number of government agencies, they possess their own construction forces, and although these forces are utilized primarily for performing repair, maintenance and alteration works, they are often capable of undertaking new construction projects. So this is how this system works as it is shown in figure 1.5. More frequently, as it is shown in figure 1.6, owners utilize their construction F staffs to manage their new construction. So here you have the construction staff, and then under that we have the project director. So all of these are the owner's construction staff, and then they hire third parties. They hire third parties over here, and then they manage it. In this case, in the first case, in figure 1.5, it is construction's own force which performs the work. But the only difference between this figure 1.5 and figure 1.6 is that other parties are hired to perform the work in owner managed construction, whereas the work is performed by the by the owner's forces, okay, in this process. There is another one, the construction by a general contractor. It operates under a prime contractor, and this prime contract is probably the most common method of having a facility constructed. So we have the owner. The owner has the contract with the design firm. Design firm inspects the work of the prime contractor, and the prime contractor hires several subcontractors, and in addition the contractor's own workforce also performs the work. There are of course two newer methods of obtaining construction services, and these are finding increased use. These are called as the design build method, or it is also called as the turnkey method, and the other is called as the construction management method. So under this design build or turnkey construction contract, an owner, this is the owner, okay, the owner contracts with a firm to both design and build a facility meeting certain specified, usually performance oriented requirements. So such contracts are frequently utilized by construction firms that specialize in particular type of construction and possess standard designs which they modify to suit owners' needs. Since the same organization in both designing and building the facility, coordination problems are minimized and construction can begin before completion of final design. So under the conventional construction process, it is also possible to begin construction before design has been completed. In this case, the construction contract is normally on a cost reimbursable basis. So this type of construction is referred to as fast track construction. I mean, fast track construction and the design build construction are similar, but in the fast track construction, the arrangement of these parties is more like the traditional contractor. Okay, so in this, for example, construction by a general contractor, when it is performed in a way that when the design activity is in parallel with the construction activity, then that is called as the fast track construction. However, in the design build process, this is already included. The design and the building and the construction are taking in parallel with each other. In the last phase, in the last arrangement, construction management contract, construction of a facility utilizing a construction management contract is also somewhat different from the conventional construction process. Under the usual arrangement, also known as the agency construction management, a professional construction manager acts as a owner's agent to direct both the design and construction of a facility. So we have the construction manager, he acts as an owner's agent, and there are three separate contracts. So one is between the owner and the construction manager, the other is between the owner and the design firm, and the owner and the construction firm. So three separate contracts for owner, design, construction, and the construction management of the project. So this arrangement offers potentials in both time and cost savings compared with conventional procedure as a result of the close coordination between the design and construction. However, opponents of the method point out that the construction management typically assumes little or no financial responsibility for the project, and that the cost of his or her services may be much higher than any savings resulting from the improved coordination between design and construction. So there is another less common form of construction management contract known as the guaranteed maximum construction management. Under this arrangement, the construction manager guarantees that the project will cost not exceed a specified amount. Under this process, which entails a certain amount of contractor risk, the construction contract is also normally held by the construction manager.
Codes and regulations. Projects constructed in most areas of the United States or other countries must comply with a number of governmental regulations. So these include building codes, zoning regulations, environmental regulations, and contractor licensing laws, among others. Okay, so let's first discuss about the building codes and then zoning, environmental, and other regulations. Building codes are concerned primarily with public safety, provide minimum design and construction standards for structural and fire safety. So as the name implies, such codes apply only to construction of buildings. So in the United States, for example, there are various building codes. So initially there were three building codes: basic and national building code, uniform building code, and standard building code. But later on in 1994, these three model codes groups jointly formed the International Code Council, and which created the International Building Code. So which is the international, and also they sometimes use the International Residential Code, which governs the construction of 1 and 2 family dwellings. In addition, there are plumbing codes, mechanical codes, and electrical code by the International Code Council. However, for electrical purpose, National Electric Code, published by the National Fire Protection Association under the auspices of the American National Standard Institute, is mostly adopted. Since the national model codes are purely advisory, a building code must be put into effect by local ordinance. So while local building codes are usually based on the model codes, they often contain local modifications which may be unnecessarily restrictive. So such restrictions along with delays in updating local codes result in increased building costs. So another problem associated with the building codes at the local level is the quality of code administration. And the lack of an adequate number of technically qualified building officials often leads to cursory inspection using a checklist approach and discourages contractors from utilizing new materials and procedures. And when uh, there is in most cases, a building permit must be obtained before construction of a building can begin. So after a permit is issued, the local building department will inspect the project at designated points during the construction. The scheduling of these inspections may pose problems for the contractor and often results in construction delays. So when utilities are not available at the construction site, additional permits may be required for power plants, water wells, water treatment plants, sewage treatment plants, or septic tanks and similar facilities. Zoning, environmental, and other regulations. Zoning regulations, environmental regulations, safety regulations, labor laws, and others impact both the building and heavy construction. So such regulations include zoning regulations, environmental regulations, etc. Zoning regulations which control the land use, limit the size, type, and density of the structure that may be erected at a particular location. So some typical zoning classifications include commercial, residential with specific density, industrial, office, recreational, and agricultural. So zoning classifications are normally designated by a combination of letters and numbers. As an example, the R4 zoning classification might represent a residential housing, which is for R, with the maximum density of 4 units per acre. So in order to construct a facility not conforming to the current zoning, it would be necessary to obtain a change in zoning or an administrative exception. Environmental regulations protect the public and environment by controlling such factors as water usage, vehicular traffic, precipitation runoff, waste disposal, and preservation of beaches and wetlands. So large projects such as new highways and airports, waste disposal facilities, major shopping centers, large industrial plants, large housing developments, and athletic centers may require preparation and approval of an environmental impact assessment, which describes and quantifies the effect of project will have on the environment. The preparation of an EIS is a complex, time-consuming, and expensive task which should be undertaken only with the assistance of a professional experienced in such matters. Safety regulations are designed to protect both construction workers and the public. So in the United States, there is an organization for overseeing the safety regulations, which is the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, which is normally called as OSHA. So the construction profession is also regulated by a number of governmental licensing and certification procedures. So communities having building their departments usually require construction contractors to have their professional certificates verified by licensing or certification. So this may be done at local level by the state. So the state certification or licensing often requires satisfactory completion of a comprehensive written examination plus proof of financial capacity and verification of character. So a business or occupational license is also normally required to all contractors. So in addition, bonding is often required for construction contractors to further protect the public against financial loss. State of the industry. First of all, the construction productivity, so which is basically the output per labor hour. And it has been generally found that the output per labor hour in the construction industry is gradually decreasing. There is a report which is called Construction Industry Cost Effectiveness Study. It suggests improvement in the areas of project management, labor training and utilization, and governmental regulation to improve the construction productivity. One of the approach for improving the productivity is to reduce the construction costs. So some of the best opportunities for construction cost savings occur in the design process, even before construction begins. So some design factors that can reduce the construction cost include the use of modular dimensions, grouping, plumbing and other equipment to minimize piping and conduit runs, incorporating prefabricated components and assemblies, utilizing economical materials, that means eliminating gold plating and employing new technology. Thus, there are some ways in which productivity can be increased and costs minimized during the construction. And these are good work planning, carefully selecting and training workers and managers, efficiently scheduling labor, materials, and equipment, properly organizing work, using labor-saving techniques such as prefabrication and pre-assembly, minimizing rework through timely quality control, preventing accidents through good safety procedures. So now let's look at some of the aspects of the construction management. Elements of construction management, quality management, safety and health, organization for construction, reasons for construction company failure, and use of computers. Elements of construction management. So the term construction management may sometimes be confusing. It has many meanings, several meanings. As explained, as it can be explained, it may refer to the contractual arrangement under which a firm supplies construction management services to an owner, or in its more common sense, common use, it refers to the act of managing the construction process. So the construction manager, on the other hand, is one who may be a contractor, project manager, superintendent, or one of their representatives. The construction manager manages the basic sources of construction. So the resources include workers and subcontractors, equipment and construction plant, material, money, income, expenditures and cash flows, and time. So the skillful construction management results in project completion on time and within budget. On the other hand, poor construction management often results in one or more of the following results. So these results may be project delays that increase labor and equipment cost and the cost of borrowed fund, high material costs caused by poor purchasing procedures, inefficient handling and or loss, and increased subcontractor cost and poor contractor-subcontractor relations, high insurance costs resulting from material and equipment loss or damage or a poor safety record, and low profit margin or loss on construction volume. So such poor project management policies, if long continued, will inevitably lead to the contractor failure. Okay, next look at the quality management. Quality management includes such activities as specification development, process control, product acceptance, laboratory and technician certification, training, and communication. Quality control, on the other hand, is a part of the quality management process, is primarily concerned with the process control function. So quality assurance inspections and tests performed by an owner's representative or government agency provide little more than spot checks to verify that some particular aspect of the project meets minimum standards. So regardless of the procedures established, the construction contractor is primarily responsible for construction quality. Quality assurance inspections and tests performed by the owner's representative So the contractors should realize that the extra costs associated with the rework are ultimately borne by the contractor, even on cost type contracts. Poor quality control will result in the contractor gaining a reputation for poor work, so the combined effect of increased cost and poor reputation often leads to the construction company failure. So there are some results of virtually all construction processes and products which vary over some statistical distribution. Statistical methods can be used for the following purposes. While details such as procedures are in recent years, there has been an increasing use of statistics-based methods for quality assurance. So what is the statistical quality management? It ensures that all elements of the work have an equal chance of being included in test samples. It verifies that test samples taken by the contractor and by other parties come from the same population. It analyzes the variations in the test results of materials and processes sampled. Establishing acceptable levels of variation in sample results, developing a payment schedule with rewards or penalizes the contractor depending on the level of quality attained in the constructed product. Construction is inherently a dangerous process. Historically, the construction industry has had one of the highest accident rates among all industries. In the United States, concern over the frequency and extent of industrial accidents and health hazards led to the passage of the Occupational Safety and Health Act 1970. Which established specific safety and health requirements for virtually all industries, including construction. So this act is administered by Occupational Safety and Health Administration. So as a result, management concern has tended to focus on OSHA regulations and penalties. However, the financial impact of a poor safety record is often more serious than OSHA penalties. So the following construction operations have been found to account for majority of serious construction injuries. Concrete construction, especially construction of formwork, placing concrete into formwork and failure of formwork during construction. The erection of prefabricated trusses, precast concrete elements and structural steel. The construction and operation of temporary facilities including scaffolding, construction plants, lifts and storage facilities. Working from elevated positions resulting in falls, and construction equipment operations. So construction managers should give special attention to the control of safety hazards described above. In the area of worker health, the major environmental hazards likely to be encountered by construction workers consist of noise, dust, radiation, toxic materials, and extreme temperatures. Organization for construction. There are probably as many different forms of construction company organizations as there are construction firms. However, in this figure, this figure presents an organization chart that reasonably represents a medium to large size general construction company. So this is the organization chart for a construction company. So a typical construction company will have various departments such as the administration, engineering, construction, and special staff, and that will be overseen by a CEO or president. And under each of these departments there will be different functions. For example, under the engineering you may have the functions such as the design, estimating, planning, scheduling. For the construction, it may be overseen by a project manager, okay, and the special staff may include some labor relation staff, legal counsel, safety staff. And in the administration, general administration, you may have accounting, general administration, payroll, public relations, and purchasing, etc. And then for the construction, which is actually directly related with the projects, so you may have the business department, engineering department, equipment department, purchasing department staff, special staff department, and superintendent department. So you can see that many of these departments at the project level have their counterpart at the organization level as well. So for example, accounting department is also at the project level, but accounting department is also at the organization level as well. Okay, so you can see that this is something like a typical breakdown for the organization in a construction. So equipment department will include the maintenance and the shop operations, and you can also have a look at the purchasing department, which may have the expediting, purchasing, and warehousing functions in this department. Next, we can look at the reasons for construction company failure. There are several reasons, which may be the lack of capital, poor cost estimating, inadequate cost accounting, and lack of general management ability. So all of these factors can be categorized as elements of poor management. So many studies have indicated that at least 90% of all construction company failures can be attributed to inadequate management. Next is the use of computers. So the wide availability and low cost of personal computers have placed these powerful tools at the disposal of every construction professional. Construction applications of computers are almost unlimited. Examples of construction applications of personal computers are presented, and we can find there are many examples nowadays in everywhere for the use of computers. Perhaps the most exciting development in the construction application of computers is the wide availability of the internet with its utmost unlimited resources, along with electronic mail, email services. As an example, you can see that the equipment manufacturers are increasingly engaging in electronic communication with dealers and dealers with contractors. Contractors exchange information and data among projects and between projects, sites, and the home office. Manufacturers are also providing online parts, catalogs, as well as service and repair bulletins to dealers. Equipment warranty services requests are also being electronically processed. So while some manufacturers' information is available only to dealers and not to contractors, increasingly such data and services will become available to contractors. So electronic sales of new and used equipment and parts are also growing rapidly. In addition, much information of value to contractors is available on the internet. So more traditional construction applications traditional construction applications of computers include word processing, cost and time estimating, financial planning, planning and scheduling, project management, and equipment management, among others. So with the increasing power and declining costs of computer, more powerful user-friendly construction software is becoming available almost daily. Construction trends. Some of the major trends noted in the construction industry in recent years include increasing international competition, rapid changes in technology, the wide availability of information via the internet, increasing speed and ease of communication, and increasing governmental regulations of industry, particularly in the area of safety and environmental protection. As a result of these developments, the larger well-managed construction firms are capturing an increasing share of the total construction market. So these trends, along with the increasing use of computer for design and management, have created a growing demand for technically competent and innovative construction managers. So with the increasing automation of construction equipment has come an increasing demand for highly skilled equipment operators and technicians. There are certain problems and prospects for the construction management are also there. So in recent years, industry problems of low productivity and high costs have served to reduce construction's share of the gross national product. So this problem has been particularly acute in building construction industry because the use of larger and more productive earth-moving equipment has served to keep earth-moving costs relatively stable. Studies of international competition in design and construction have found that the US share of the world's market has declined significantly since 1970. So there are new forms of construction organization and management. When the demand for construction again will peak, it is probable that new forms of construction organization and management, as well as new construction methods, will have to be developed to meet these demands. In any event, the construction industry will continue to provide many opportunities and rewards to the innovative, professionally competent, and conscientious construction professional. So in summary, the future of construction appears as dynamic as does its past. An abundance of problems, challenges, opportunities, and rewards wait for those who choose to enter the construction industry.